On July 20, 1969, the world held its breath as Apollo 11's lunar module, Eagle, made its historic descent toward the moon's surface. The tension was palpable, as millions of people across the globe tuned in, their eyes glued to flickering television screens, waiting for a sign that humanity was about to achieve the impossible. As the Eagle touched down in the Sea of Tranquility, a collective sigh of relief and awe swept across continents. Hundreds of millions watched in real time as Neil Armstrong descended the ladder and set foot onto the lunar surface, his words echoing through history. "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." In that moment, the boundaries of human achievement were forever expanded, and the world was united in wonder and pride. This achievement was the culmination of a decade of relentless effort, innovation, and sacrifice. More than 400,000 scientists, engineers, and technicians poured their expertise and passion into the Apollo program, overcoming countless obstacles and setbacks. Their dedication transformed science fiction into reality, proving that teamwork and determination could conquer even the most daunting challenges. The Apollo program, born from the intense rivalry of the Cold War and the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, ultimately became a triumph not just for one nation, but for all humanity. The sight of astronauts standing on the moon inspired hope and possibility, transcending borders and political divides. Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin explored the alien landscape, collecting lunar samples, conducting experiments, and planting the American flag as a symbol of achievement. Meanwhile, Michael Collins orbited above in the command module, his vital role ensuring the safe return of his crewmates. Together, they demonstrated the power of human ingenuity and courage. The mission's success brought not only new scientific knowledge and technological advances, but also a profound sense of inspiration for generations to come. Children gazed up at the moon with newfound curiosity, and scientists around the world were motivated to push the boundaries of exploration even further. Across the globe, people celebrated together. Parades filled city streets, families gathered around televisions, and strangers embraced in joy. For a brief moment, humanity was united by a shared sense of wonder and accomplishment, proving that great things are possible when we dream together. The moon, once a distant and mysterious object in the night sky, was now a place we had touched, leaving footprints as a testament to our curiosity and determination. The lunar surface, marked by human presence, became a symbol of exploration and hope. The lunar rocks brought back by Apollo 11 rewrote our understanding of the solar system's history. Scientists studied these precious samples, unlocking secrets about the moon's origins and the processes that shaped our cosmic neighborhood. The technology developed for Apollo found its way into everyday life, revolutionizing fields like medical imaging, computer science, and materials engineering. The innovations born from the space program continue to benefit society in ways unimaginable at the time. The sight of Earth rising above the lunar horizon forever changed our perspective on our place in the universe. From the moon, our planet appeared fragile and united, a reminder that despite our differences, we all share the same home among the stars. Yet, as the cheers faded, doubts began to surface. In a time of political upheaval and eroding trust, some wondered, could the moon landing have been faked? Bill Kaysing, a former technical writer, published a pamphlet in 1976 claiming the Apollo missions were a hoax. His simple, catchy arguments spread quickly, amplified by media and later the internet. Films like Capricorn 1 fueled the idea, suggesting the landings were staged in a studio. The core claim: the US faked the moon landing to win the space race, hiring a director to stage it all. Despite overwhelming evidence, this narrative persists, a testament to the power of misinformation. One of the most cited proofs of a hoax is the American flag, which appears to wave in photos. Critics argue, no air means no wind, so the flag must have been filmed on Earth. But the flag was designed with a horizontal rod to keep it unfurled in the moon's airless environment. The waving effect came from the astronauts twisting the pole into the lunar soil while wearing bulky suits. In a vacuum, without air resistance, the flag's ripples persisted longer than they would on Earth. The flag's permanent ripples are due to the support rod not fully extending. There was no breeze, just physics at work in a vacuum. The waving flag isn't evidence of a hoax, it's evidence of how objects behave on the moon. Every detail, from the flag's design to its motion, matches what we'd expect in lunar conditions. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. Another claim: why are there no stars in Apollo photos? The moon's sky is pitch black, so shouldn't it be filled with stars? The answer lies in photography, not conspiracy. Cameras were set for the blindingly bright lunar surface, using fast shutter speeds and small apertures. Stars, much fainter than the sunlit ground, simply didn't register on film with those settings. It's like taking a photo of a friend by a campfire, expose for the face, and the stars vanish. To capture stars, you'd need a long exposure, which would overexpose everything else. The astronauts were there to document their work, not do astrophotography. The missing stars are just a result of basic camera limitations. One of the most persistent arguments from conspiracy theorists centers around the so-called anomalous shadows seen in Apollo mission photographs. They claim these shadows are evidence that the moon landings were staged in a studio, using artificial lighting rather than sunlight. According to this theory, the way shadows fall in the images simply doesn't make sense if the sun was the only light source. The argument goes like this: if the sun is the only light source on the moon, then all shadows should run perfectly parallel to each other, just like you'd see on a sunny day on Earth with no other lights around. But in reality, the moon's surface is anything but flat. The terrain is rugged, filled with craters, rocks, and slopes. When you take a photo on such uneven ground, perspective comes into play, making parallel shadows appear to converge, diverge, or even bend in unexpected ways. It's the same optical illusion you see when railroad tracks seem to meet at the horizon, even though you know they're actually parallel. Our eyes and cameras interpret three-dimensional space in ways that can be misleading in two-dimensional photos. The moon's surface, with its countless craters and jagged slopes, causes shadows to twist and stretch in all directions. This natural chaos makes it nearly impossible for all shadows to look perfectly parallel in any real photograph. On top of that, the cameras used by Apollo astronauts often had wide-angle lenses, which exaggerate perspective and can further distort the appearance of shadows. The combination of three-dimensional terrain and lens effects creates optical illusions that are easy to misinterpret. To test these claims, scientists have recreated lunar lighting conditions in laboratories here on Earth. Using a single light source and uneven surfaces, they've shown that the same anomalous shadows appear naturally, without any need for extra lights or trickery. Another common claim is that objects in shadow are still visible in Apollo photos, which some say could only happen with powerful studio lights. But this overlooks a key property of the lunar surface. The moon's dusty surface is actually highly reflective. It bounces sunlight in all directions, acting like a giant natural reflector. This fill light effect means that even areas in shadow are illuminated by light reflected off the ground. This phenomenon, sometimes called moonshine, allows cameras to capture details in the shadows, making them visible without any artificial lighting. When you understand the science of light, perspective, and the moon's unique environment, these so-called shadow anomalies are exactly what you'd expect to see. In the end, the shadows on the moon don't reveal a hoax. They reveal the fascinating physics of light and the reality of the lunar landscape. Some claim the Van Allen radiation belts would have killed the astronauts. The belts are real, but the danger is exaggerated. NASA planned the Apollo trajectory to pass quickly through the thinnest parts, minimizing exposure. The astronauts spent less than 2 hours in the belts, receiving a radiation dose similar to a medical CT scan. The spacecraft's metal hull provided additional shielding. The risk was calculated and managed, not ignored. The Van Allen belts are a challenge for long-term missions, but not for Apollo's quick dash. The science was sound, and the astronauts returned unharmed. The belts were a hurdle, not a showstopper. The evidence for the moon landings is not just strong, it's truly overwhelming, and it comes from every corner of the globe. This isn't just a story told by one nation, it's a chapter in human history that the entire world has witnessed, scrutinized, and confirmed. Even the Soviet Union, America's greatest rival during the space race, tracked every Apollo mission with their own sophisticated equipment. They monitored radio signals, watched the launches, and followed the spacecraft all the way to the moon and back. Despite the intense rivalry, the Soviets never challenged the authenticity of the landings because they knew it was real. One of the most tangible pieces of evidence is the 382 kilograms of moon rocks brought back by Apollo astronauts. These rocks are unlike anything found on Earth. Their unique composition, age, and structure have been studied by scientists in countries all over the world, not just in the United States. No geologist from any nation has ever claimed these rocks could have come from our planet. Their isotopic signatures and mineral content are distinctly lunar, providing undeniable proof of their origin. In recent years, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has captured high-resolution images of all 6 Apollo landing sites. These photos show the exact spots where astronauts landed, worked, and left their mark. You can clearly see the lunar modules, scientific instruments, and even the tracks left by astronauts' boots and lunar rovers, still undisturbed after decades. These are not just stories or memories, they are visible, physical markers of humanity's presence on the moon, preserved in the lunar dust. The Apollo astronauts also left behind special scientific instruments like retroreflectors, devices that reflect light directly back to its source. Even today, observatories around the world fire powerful lasers at these retroreflectors. The reflected light allows scientists to measure the exact distance to the moon with incredible precision, and this experiment has been ongoing for decades. This ongoing experiment is only possible because the reflectors are still sitting on the lunar surface, silently proving that humans were there. The evidence for the moon landings isn't just locked away in history books or old photographs, it's active, testable, and visible right now, in real time. The moon landings are among the best documented events in all of human history, with thousands of hours of footage, millions of photographs, and mountains of technical data available for anyone to examine. The proof is all around us, woven into our science, our museums, and our ongoing experiments. If we choose to see it, the evidence is undeniable. If the evidence is so clear, why do conspiracy theories persist? Humans are pattern seekers, drawn to simple, dramatic stories over complex truths. Conspiracies offer a sense of control and special knowledge, especially in uncertain times. Distrust in authority makes people more receptive to alternative explanations. The internet amplifies these beliefs, creating echo chambers where misinformation thrives. Accepting the moon landing requires trust in science and the people behind it. Sometimes it's easier to believe a captivating story than to accept the messy reality of history. The Apollo landings are a testament to human curiosity, courage, and collaboration. Dismissing them as a hoax robs us of one of our greatest achievements. Science is about questioning, but also about accepting overwhelming evidence. Moon rocks, laser experiments, and lunar photos all confirm the reality of Apollo. Denying this isn't skepticism, it's rejecting the very methods that help us understand our world. This matters, because the same thinking can lead to denying other scientific truths. Learning to separate evidence from fiction is vital in our world. The universe doesn't lie, it simply follows the laws of physics. Apollo's legacy reminds us we can achieve the impossible when we trust in evidence and each other. Let's honor that legacy by continuing to explore, question, and reach for the stars.